today by joining Unity at 11 o'clock Central Time for its Facebook Live prayer service. Every day, the service is led by a different Unity minister, and you can leave your prayer requests in the comments.
How you going? It's Yasmin here. Oops, I was going to put some earrings in.
And your prayer intention will be held in prayer for the next 30 days.
Back to go live on my radio show. Don't really need earrings for the radio, but hello, Tanya. Tells me who's watching. I don't mean to freak you out.
Just pray for Friday. Get a fresh perspective on your career with Mo Fall and
Hi, Molly.
Every Thursday at 11 a.m. Central.
Hello, Catherine. Hello, Rag, Neil,
A leadership mentor and career coach.
Chrissy,
can help you go from underpaid, unsatisfied, and unappreciated
Pamela,
to living your life
Suzanne,
in career
Felicity,
again. Join the show and let Mo
Tanya.
guide you
Hi,
to some
guys.
real life changes.
Going to be going
Tune in
live
every
on my
Thursday
radio
on
show. So if you want to, let me get the
onlineradio.org.
phone-in number.
Call now with your question
Here
or
we go.
comment.
Here it is.
816-251-3555. That's
816-251-3555. Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Get in tune with the sun, moon, and stars. This is Astrology with Yasmin.
Hello, everybody out there all over the whole wide world. This is Yasmin Boland coming to you live and direct from Mission Control in London, England. It's another week to deal with in this crazy year. How are you all doing? Hopefully it's going to be a good week and hopefully you're feeling fantastic. It's actually a full moon week. There is a full moon coming on the 28th of January, which is 3 days from now. Let me just tell you when that will be around the world. So it's going to be the full moon in the sign of Leo. I'm just going to my trusty Moonology diary, which I'm happy to say has sold out around the world. Yay! Okay, so the full moon in Leo. The key energies of this moon are flashy, confident, healing, and I'm afraid to say the fourth word is challenging. So here are the times around the world. Hopefully somewhere from one of these you'll be able to work it out from where it is for wherever you are in the world. So if you are in London or the UK, it's going to be taking place on the 28th of January. Now let me just look at my calendar here. So that's Thursday. It's going to be taking place on Thursday at 7:15 p.m. Okay, 7:15 p.m. and I'll be doing a Facebook Live on the Hay House Facebook page. You can actually sign up for it on my Yasmin Boland page. It's free. I do it every month. I'll be out in my garden, rugged up. It'll probably be about 1 degree out there. And yeah, I'll be doing a full moon live. I believe it will be on Thursday night. That would make sense if I've scheduled it for then. But look under my Facebook page, which is Yasmin Boland. Go to the events and then just look for full moon in Leo online gathering or whatever we've called it. And yeah, so that will be fun. In Sydney, it's going to be taking place because of the time difference. It's the same time, you know, universal time. But it will be on Friday morning at 6:16 a.m. So if you're in Sydney and you want to vibe with the full moon, it's 6:16 a.m. on Friday. And if you want to get up and come to my new full moon ceremony in my backyard, it's going to be cold. I will be wearing many layers and it will be 6:16 a.m. your time in Australia. And it'll probably be sunny. So why not come and laugh at me? If you're in LA on the west coast of the USA, it'll be taking place on Thursday at 11:16 a.m. on Thursday morning, okay? 11:16 a.m. West Coast time, Pacific time, I believe you call it. And, you know, we're all in lockdown. I'm sure your bosses won't mind if you take an hour out to connect with the full moon. It'll be good for your mental health, and we all need good mental health at the moment. And on in New York, on the East Coast, Eastern Time, it'll be Thursday at 2:16 p.m. 2:16 p.m. on Thursday in New York or Eastern Time. So again, I think if you're at work, you know, take your lunch hour at 2 o'clock. I'm pretty sure my event will start at 2 o'clock your time. And we'll be meditating our way through the full moon. So the full moon in Leo is all about showing off what your mama gave you. Okay, that's what it says in here anyway. Parade about, but also balance your need for center stage with the needs of those around you and the needs of the collective as well. Okay. In fact, the Sun and Jupiter are on the very same degree of the zodiac as the full moon takes place. So it's going to be a pretty intense full moon. And let's face it, it's been a pretty intense year so far. And I have to say, I'm feeling somewhat vindicated about the fact that when I wrote all my year ahead pieces, you know, in October last year, when we were all hoping that by the time we got to the new moon, the new year rather, that everything would have changed and life would have magically gone back to normal. And of course, you know, it hasn't, and it's not going to just yet, because the astrology and the moonology totally says that. The astrology of the year ahead is, you know, exactly what's going on, which is more lockdown. My son came in, my son's Louis, 14, he came in to me today and said, I just read we're in lockdown till September. I was like, what? Needs must. Needs must. So I would, so, you know, it's going to be a big year. It's really going to be a big year. And what are we going to do about it? How are we going to handle it? That's really the question. So if you would like me to look at your chart and tell you what is going on in your chart right now or in the 12 months to come or where the full moon this week is taking place, give me a call. If you're in America, you just need to dial 816-251-3555. 816-251-3555. 3555. So there you go. Let's have a chat. So yes, this full moon has healing notes as well, you'll be glad to hear, because committed Saturn and the healing planetoid Chiron are harmonizing. Now, that is very good. Because when Saturn and Chiron get together, like they're doing at the time of the full moon this week, it's a healing time. It's a time when things can start to get better. It's a time when even if there is chaos around, life can start to feel a bit more stable. And, you know, it has been pretty intense, you know, pretty intense so far. You know, I mean, I don't need to tell you, we had the events in Washington on January the 6th, then we had the inauguration on January 20, which has like changed everything. It's like a new administration, life is changing, but this is not going to be the easiest year. It's not. And, you know, we all need to just work with it, and that's what I'm trying to help people do. I've got people on the line now. Oh gosh, we've got loads of people calling in. Okay, so I'll take a call in a minute, but I'm going to just do a little chant. Which chant shall I do? I'm going to do the chakra clearing chant. People love that. And it's a really good chant to do in the lead up to the full moon, because what does it do? It balances our chakras, okay? And there are energy centers, the energy centers on our body, which go kind of out of whack when everything's really weird. For example, in the middle of a pandemic, when everybody's stuck at home and wondering if they're ever going to be allowed out of the house ever again, for example, as we all are right now. You know, like, I mean, really, can they keep us in lockdown until September? Just before we do the chant, let me just tell you something. As I've been saying for a long time now, and long-time listeners and readers will back me up, this year we have Saturn in Aquarius, and nothing says humanity in lockdown like Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn's the planet of restrictions and lockdown, and Aquarius is the sign of humanity. So it's actually going to be like that for 2 years. So, you know, I can't imagine we're going to have 2 years of lockdown. I won't even go there in my imagination. But it certainly does make sense that we're still having more lockdown at the moment. We have to get through it together. That's what we have to do. All right. So let's just start today's proceedings. We've got loads of people on the line. So I'm going to take some calls. I'll just give you the number again as well if anybody wants to be in the queue as well. 816-251-3555 is the number to call from the United States. 816-251-3555. If you're calling from outside the States, then you would just add, I think, is it 00111, I think, in Australia, 00111. And I think if you're in England, you just add 0111. But you can work that out. 816-251-3555, and we've actually got plenty of people on the line anyway. So let us start with a little chant and just get our energy in order. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to just do the chakra clearing chant. Hari Om Nam Lam Mam Vam Sim Ram Vam Yam Yam Ham Shiva Ram Swaha. I'm going to do it 3 times. Hari Om Nam Lam Mam Vam Sim Ram Vam Yam Yam Ham Shiva Ram Swaha. And one more time. Hari Om Nam Lam Mam Vam Sim Ram Vam Yam Yam Ham Shiva Ram Swaha. And I should just say that is a chant that I was taught by my teacher in India twice, Sri Shakti Narayani Amma. And if you're interested in chanting and in the mysteries of India and you want to look up my teacher, just look up Narayani Peedam, Narayani, Narayani Peedam. They've actually just opened a new temple this week to the Hindu god Ganesha. So there's all this amazing stuff going on there right now with lots of ceremonies and chanting. It's all really far out, and I've been watching it a bit on Facebook. All right, so let's go to the phones and take a call. Let's go to the first person who managed to call in today, who is Carmen on line 1. Are you there, Miss Carmen?
Can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
Fabulous. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Very well, actually, for a Monday. So I'm just doing your chart here, Carmen. What would you like to know about your chart, or anything about your life, about this year? What would you like to know?
My biggest question for 2021 is finances. I find myself, it's a lot in at once, and then it's cricket. So it's not consistent.
And just before I go any further, are you Lafayette, Tippecanoe?
Tippecanoe County, yeah.
Okay, great.
Where I was born.
Right, and where are you now?
I'm in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Right, cool. And so what do you do, Carmen?
I'm a spiritual coach.
Okay, so what you're finding is you're not getting a consistent client feed.
Correct, yeah.
Right. And what do you do for people as a spiritual coach? You might as well tell us. There's loads of people interested in spiritual coaching listening right now.
I help people understand why they're here, how to live on purpose, and what I call in divine harmony. So I help people understand, for example, how astrology is connected with numerology and the Bible, and how to work with those energies. And I actually send a lot of my clients to your work.
Do you?
So that they have tool to use every day.
And thank you so much, Carmen. What's your website?
hearts-joy.com.
Let's have a look.
So, like, I'm getting ready to rebrand my monthly memberships, and I have a course, virtual course, 8 weeks, called Live on Purpose. The next one starts February.
Cool. Okay, because the first thing I was going to say to you was, you know, really, if you could create some kind of membership where people will be coming to you every month for information, that would really help you, you know, to have a more steady income source.
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, you just have to offer amazing stuff in your membership that people want to keep coming back for every month.
Okay.
So you wanted astrology advice, but I'm giving you digital marketing advice, as I always do. Everyone's like, oh, Yasmin, pray tell, look at the stars and tell me.
Rename them to Ring of Fire.
You're going to rename what to Ring of Fire?
The magical monthly memberships to Ring of Fire.
Okay. Yeah, you don't even have it on the front page of your website.
Yeah, it's under offerings. So if you think I should move it to the front page, I will.
Yeah. And also, you know, the thing to do as well is to offer people something for free so they can see what you're about. Because, you know, one thing that they teach, and someone who's really good at social media and spiritually based social media is Katie Brockhurst. You can always look up her work. She's got 2 books out about how to, you know, do social media with a sort of with heart and with, you know, if you're on the spiritual path. Because if you're on the spiritual path, promoting yourself is a completely different matter to if, you know, you're a mattress salesperson or a car salesperson, because you have to do it with complete integrity from the heart. And one thing that Katie teaches, which I really like, what she says is your vibe attracts your tribe. Okay, in other words, who you are and who you're putting out there will attract the right people to you, you know? So you kind of have to just get out there and be yourself, and then the right people will show up for you, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
You know? So I would suggest that. I want to start a side hustle where I help spiritual entrepreneurs make their first $1 million or whatever, you know, because I want to get people out there. I mean, you can do what you like with the money. You can give it all to charity. I'm not bothered. But what I mean is, you know, so many spiritual people, the problem is so many spiritual people feel awkward charging for what they do. And, you know, and this is not just for you. This is for everybody who's listening. You know, if you're a spiritual person and you've been, you know, on the spiritual path for some time, and you want to charge for your coaching or your Reiki or your astrology or whatever, and you're having a hard time, it's you know, turn your mindset around. It's not the first time I've talked about this, but I mean, if I were to look back and add up how much I've spent learning astrology, all the courses I've done and the books I've bought, and, you know, the places I've traveled to learn it. And, you know, I mean, it would be definitely thousands and thousands of dollars I've invested in myself to learn astrology and to learn moonology. And, you know, running a website isn't free. We got a bill today for, I guess, about $10,000. I think it was £7,000. So 10,000 American dollars. That's just so we can send emails this year. You know, like, this is not free. So you can't give it away. You have to, like, on some level, either you get a proper job, in inverted commas, in which case you're then going to hide your light under a bushel and no one's going to benefit from all the amazing things you have to offer, because you'll be doing your proper job 9 to 5 and then you're way too tired to do it on, you know, do any spiritual work. Or you have to make a living from what you're doing. So, you know, I know people ring me up all the time and ask me this question, and they think I'm going to give them spiritual advice. And in a way, this is spiritual advice because it's really about your self-worth. Now, if you want to talk about astrology and your self-worth, then Carmen, I'm happy to. So let's look at your self-worth. For anybody who understands astrology, a lot of your self-worth is to be found in your second house. Okay, your second house is where you keep your values, your self-esteem, your self-worth, you know, what you think your talents and assets are. Now, you do have some interesting astrology going on in your second house right now, Carmen. So you have, on the one hand, you have Jupiter, which is the planet of good luck, and oh, everything's great, and it's all going to be amazing, and oh, I know deep down I'm amazing, I have so much to offer, I can help change the world, I can help people see how powerful they are, which is my thing. I want to show women how powerful they are. That's really my aim with my work. And, you know, I'm happy for men to discover it as well, but men seem to have less trouble understanding their worth than women do. So you've got Jupiter in your second house right now all year, which is great because it means you can really rate yourself. You know, you can really believe in yourself. However, at the same time, you also have serious, tedious, depressing Saturn in there, okay? Because Aquarius rules your second house because you're Capricorn rising. So you have work to do this year on your self-belief. You need to harness the energy of Jupiter and start to think, okay, I am worth it. I'm worth it. I'm worth a monthly membership. You know, what have I got to offer? I've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all that stuff. I can help people change their life. And that's how I want to make my living. So I'm worth it. I offer good stuff. I'm helping people transform their life. You just have to kind of get yourself into that flow and then be really methodical as well. And look and see if you have any fears around money, because Saturn is the planet of fear. So if you have fears around money, anyone who's Capricorn rising who has fears around money, it's a time where you really need to work on your fears. You know, it might even be worth doing something like, have you heard of, Carmen, have you heard of Denise Duffield-Thomas?
No, I have not.
Okay, so she's a fellow Australian and she does courses which are really well received. She does amazing digital marketing, okay, for one thing. But she does courses and she's written books. Her book is actually called Lucky Bitch, because the joke is that everybody thinks that she's a lucky bitch because she's done so well and she's made millions. And it's like, and her point is in her books, I'm not a lucky bitch. I've worked for it. So she helps people clear their money blocks. And for you or anyone else who's Capricorn rising, it's a really good year to clear any money blocks that you might have, you know, and just power through it. And then the thing is, I feel like it's like that Marianne Williamson quote, actually, which is about, you know, our deepest fear is not that we are, what is it? Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. It's that here it is. I'll read it to you. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us most. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God or goddess. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure about you. So for you at the moment, let me just finish that. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. You know, the glory of the universe if you're not godly. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And when we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And, you know, as a coach, Carmen, that's exactly what you're doing. You're liberating people from their fear. So my suggestion would be work on your self-esteem, work on your self-worth, work on your belief that you're worth it, and work on your membership.
I will. I'm taking notes as you're talking, so thank you.
Oh, that's my pleasure. And, you know, when I look at everything else that's going on in your chart, there's nothing, you know, too difficult right now. So it's actually quite a good time for you to be doing all this work, you know.
Okay.
All right.
Launch the memberships after Mercury retrograde.
Well, I mean, Mercury's going retrograde in about 5 days' time. You know, and it takes a bit more than that to launch a membership. You have to do a proper launch. You can't just stick it up there and hope someone turns up. You have to give people a taste of what's going to be in there. But if it turns out that you do it in 3 months' time during the next Mercury retrograde, I don't see any problem with that, because what is Mercury retrograde? It's about things that go back to the past, and it is about confusion, but it's also about that sort of great tying things up. And so, you know, my longest magazine column that I have ever had and still have started when Mercury was retrograde. And at the time, I was a little bit concerned for the magazine. I was thinking, oh God, what's going to happen? You know, like they're launching while Mercury is retrograde. That must be a bit, you know, weird. This was like 20 years ago. And what's it actually meant? It's meant that every Mercury retrograde, the magazine on some level reinvents itself, and my column has reinvented itself. I've had that column, touch wood, for 20 years, and it started when Mercury was retrograde. And I actually think one of the reasons why that magazine has lasted so long, anyone in the UK, it's Closer magazine. And I've been writing the stars in there since their first issue, touch wood. And I think one of the reasons is that Mercury retrograde just keeps bringing everything back. And every time there's another Mercury retrograde, things start again. So, you know, you could even decide if you launch your membership in Mercury retrograde that you relaunch it every time Mercury goes retrograde, or you do another drive every time Mercury goes retrograde. Does that make sense?
It does. I really like that idea.
All right. Well, thanks, Carmen. We're going to the break. Thanks for calling in.
All right.
Thanks, Louis. All right. So, my lovely friends on Facebook, who would like a card? I'm going to do a card for everybody who's here today. People ring me up for astrology advice and they get digital marketing advice. What are the chances? Does that strike you as funny? Because it strikes me as quite funny. I've got Mercury sextile Uranus, and that makes me very much into writing and all that kind of marketing and all that stuff. Oh, here's our card. It's just come out. Oh, there we go. Literally fell out. All right, are you ready? All right, this card is for everybody who is watching now or on the rebroadcast. Hi, Alicia. Okay. Ali Borg wants a card. Victoria wants a card. Who else wants a card? Shirley. All right, it's here. Are you ready? We actually got the Balsamic Moon card. And the Balsamic Moon card... Are we in the Balsamic Moon phase yet? No, not yet. No, of course we're not. We're a day before the full moon, not the new moon, sorry. So, the Balsamic Moon. The Balsamic Moon. Balsamic means healing and soothing. And this card says a time for healing. So, whatever has been upsetting you can now start to heal. Whatever's been upsetting you can now start to heal. So there you go. We've actually got quite a few people on the line already today. So I would say to call in, but we've already got pretty much a full board, but you know, if you call in, say you've been watching on Facebook Live and I'll try and get to you. So I think in the second half of the show, what are we going to talk about? What's the most interesting thing to talk about? What I had in mind, what I've been planning to talk about is the fact that there's actually quite a lot of romance in the air this week. Who wants a bit more romance in their life? Who's into romance? Caroline Reed could do with that, with a heart. Does that mean you could do with romance or you could do with healing, I wonder? Celia, so perfect. I think you're all talking about the card still. Healing and soothing. Okay, so how do we heal? Best way, gratitude. Just find things to be grateful for. Is this free reading really you? Have you got an email from someone offering you a free reading? No, that is not me. That is someone who's faking me, who's impersonating me. I don't send people readings, people emails offering readings. Please report them. Okay, I can see you, Betty, on Facebook. And oh, you've hung up. You were here. I was going to take your call. Never mind. Here we go. Back to the show.
Find out what's happening in the skies. Welcome back to Astrology with Yasmin.
Hello everybody, I am back for the second half of the show. We had Carmen calling in before the break and we were talking about the importance of valuing yourself. And actually, this week is actually quite good for that. For one thing, we've got the full moon in Leo coming, and Leo is the sign that's all about, oh, fabulous, darling, I'm just fabulous. That's Leo's. You know, the sun represents Leo. We revolve around the sun. Leos think we revolve around them. My favorite Leo is to use as an example is look at me, Madonna. You know, not to mention, I know I'm a bit old school here. I probably need to update my Leo references. But what about, do you remember the Spice Girls? Do you remember Jerry with the red hair? You know, really look at me, Leo, classic Leo. I need to get some more up-to-date Leos as well. But they're always they're the head turners. They walk in and everyone's like, oh gosh, who's that? You know, and they like a bit of attention. And this week, the full moon is in the sign of Leo and it's taking place near the amplification planet Jupiter. So it's going to be a really good time to be working on yourself. It's also a good week for romance. Who wants a bit more romance in their life? Who wants a bit more romance in their life? There is romance in the air this week. Why? Because we are getting a very kind of important and big, it's called a conjunction. And what that means is a conjunction is when two planets are in the same part of the skies at the same time. And it's going to be Venus, the planet of love and abundance, is going to be connecting with Pluto, the planet of passion and power. So on the one hand, actually Venus conjunct Pluto can be a really good time for money. It can be a transformative time for money. But it can also be a really good time for romance. So if you want romance, let's see, it's taking place about this time on Thursday. So whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world right now, I think it's about 8:30 in the morning Eastern time. It's about 11:30. Sorry, no, it's about 8:30 in the morning Pacific time, 11:30 in the morning Eastern time. Here it's about 4:30 p.m. London time, and it's about 1:30 in the morning Australian time. So basically, we all need to focus our efforts on Wednesday night. Wednesday night. How are you supposed to have a romantic night in lockdown? I'm not really sure. I mean, it can be romantic if you don't have children, I suppose. Here we've got my beautiful son. So, you know, any romance that my husband and I get are stolen kisses in the kitchen mainly. What about you? So it's taking place just at the time of the full moon is the Venus-Pluto conjunction. So it's a really, really powerful full moon. So like I said at the start of the show, make sure you join me for my free Facebook full moon session. I'll be out in the garden, unless it's raining, in which case I'll be inside. But if it's not raining, it hasn't rained for a long time actually, touch wood. I'll be out there in the garden having my full moon fire, and we'll be doing our full moon forgiveness list. So it's a really powerful week this week. All right, let's go to the phone. Someone's saying I'm on my own. Okay, so Tracy, on your own. Doesn't matter. For one thing, it might be a good night to go online and see who you meet. You never know. You might get a lockdown romance online. Or it can be a really good time to think, okay, I need to transform my financial situation. What can I do to transform my finances? Because Venus is the planet of love, but also the planet of abundance. Okay, so what can you do to turn your finances around? Marlene on Facebook. I'm broadcasting on Facebook as well for those of you who are wondering on Unity Radio. I'm broadcasting on both. Someone's saying, will the full moon event be on a Facebook Live? Yes, it will be a Facebook Live. It's always a Facebook Live every month, full moon and new moon. We've had up to 90,000 people reached by these full moon ceremonies. It's quite extraordinary. All right, so let's go to the lines and see who we are going to speak to. Okay, this is a bit bad, but I'm so curious about Los Angeles. So I'm going to go to April, who's... Oh, she literally just hung up. No. Is she there? April?
No, I'm here.
Oh, I see. You didn't hang up. You just hopped off my screen call list because you got connected. How are you, April?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. So you were born in LA. Where are you now?
I'm in Southern California still, about 100 miles from there.
And where are you in Southern California?
Oh, Paris, California.
What's it called?
Paris, P-E-R-R-I-S.
Oh, never heard of that.
Yeah.
I've got a friend who lives in Encinitas.
Yeah, that's about 60 miles from here.
Okay, I'm just looking you up on the map. I can see you have a Walmart superstore.
A what?
A Walmart superstore. Oh, you're not far from LA, actually.
No, not far.
But you're inland.
Yeah, inland, yes.
There you go. All right. I know you didn't ring up to talk about where you live. What can I tell you, April? What would you like to know?
I was just wondering, work-wise, just what's going to go on with that. I'm in the restaurant business, and we've been through a lot.
Yeah.
With that, shutdowns, opening up, shutdowns, and that kind of stuff. So it was a pretty rough year work-wise. A lot of people were locked down, but I just worked probably triple. And I also have some online businesses I do also that I've done pretty well with, but don't have really enough time to put more time into them because of my work schedule.
And so what do you do in the restaurant business?
I manage a restaurant.
Oh, fun. You going to tell us the name of the restaurant just so we can find out, or is that too much information over the phone?
No, that's okay. And Applebee's.
Applebee's. Oh, okay. I don't know what that is, but that's a chain, is it?
Yes.
Right, okay. Well, that sounds like fun. Okay, so, and what are your online businesses about?
I'm sorry?
What are your online businesses about?
Oh, I make jewelry and sell like these socks. It's on Etsy. I do that. So.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's have a look. Okay, all right, so everything you just said, I want to appeal to all the astrologers out there listening to what April just said. She just said her money is erratic right now because of being in the restaurant industry, and the pandemic has been causing chaos. And but she's doing quite well with her online businesses. So what does that make you think, astrologers out there? What's she got where? She's got the planet of chaos, Uranus, where in her 2nd or 8th house, actually in your 8th house. So what you're explaining to us, April, is really textbook astrology of what's going on in your chart. And your working life at the restaurant is probably going to be a bit more erratic for some time to come, and you're going to have to roll with it. And at the moment, because you've got Uranus, the planet of digital technology, in your 8th house, which is your house of money, now is the time to be making money online. Full stop.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So there you go.
It's just, I'm at the point where I still need my full-time job to pay bills, and I'm doing okay with my online businesses, but I'd be afraid to give up the stability of my regular job just to do the online thing. So I'm kind of in that quandary there.
Yeah, but you mustn't give up your full-time job until your businesses are paying, but you must work hard on your online businesses so that you, if you want to, you can give up your full-time job. At the moment with the pandemic, are you actually going to work?
Oh, yeah, I've been working the whole year.
Oh, they didn't close your restaurant?
Like that as a manager. Other people did, but they kept all the managers working.
Are your restaurants still open in California?
They're not supposed, well, we're open for takeout, and they're not supposed to be open for dining. We're not open for dining. Some of the smaller places are because they're just kind of going against the orders, but we're just open for takeout.
Okay, well, basically, this year is a really, really good time for you to be learning the importance of having the money set aside for a rainy day, doing your side hustle, and, every minute you've got, you need to be working on your online businesses. And people say to me, I really want to do such and such, but I don't have time. It's like, well, you're going to have to make time. I've got a girlfriend in Australia who's setting up her business at the moment. She's a meditation teacher. She's one of my best friends. And she's just saying, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. It's all so much to do, all the marketing, all of this, all of that. And I'm like, you have to be obsessed. You have to be obsessed to make it successful. And you've got great stars to make it successful, but you do have some lessons to learn this year when it comes to money and, the constant supply and also the online stuff. The other thing actually that's going on for you right now, which is really interesting, April, is you actually have Chiron, the wounded healer, on your sun, S-U-N, which is very interesting because it means now is a really, really good time for you to be healing something. So you need to look at, what do I need to heal? I mean, it could be a health issue, could be emotional health, it could be mental health, it could be spiritual health, could be physical health. So kind of try and keep that in mind a bit, especially, in the next, let's say, 4 or so weeks. What can I heal in my life that's going to help me? Because maybe you need to heal something to do with money. Maybe you need to heal something to do with physical. I don't know. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I've been exhausted this year from working, so I don't know if it's that.
Right. Well, it may be.
Work actually triple as hard because of the pandemic.
Yeah. People are saying they're all working harder. I'm also working harder. So we had the card before, which I think was definitely for you, that now is a time for healing. Okay, so look and think, how can I make myself feel better? How can I heal myself? What can I do in my life differently that's going to help me to feel better? Like, you've actually got Neptune in your 6th house. So daily meditations or chanting or just lighting a candle and being grateful for a few minutes, anything like that will really, really help you. And, you might not see it initially, but actually will help you financially eventually as well, because everything's all connected. All right?
All right.
Now, I drew you a card. Would you like to know the card?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, you got the waxing moon. The energy is gaining momentum. And I think that's about your online businesses. I think go for it with your online businesses. This is the time to sell online. What are your crazy socks called?
April Didi designed and Piper Elliott designed.
April Didi. How do you spell Didi?
April Lady.
Oh, April Lady Designs. And these your socks, are they?
No, that's my jewelry.
Oh, handmade rock and roll items. Oh, wow, they're amazing. Oh, yeah, they're amazing, everybody. Go to April Lady Designs on Etsy, and she's got rock and roll items. They're brilliant. So market them. You've just got to let people know they're there.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Thank you. Thank you.
They're brilliant. They're gorgeous. I love them. All right, madame. Well, now you know what to do. You need to heal yourself and get your items out there into the world.
Okay, thank you so much, Yasmin.
You're so welcome, April. See you later. There you go. Okay, so let's just, I'll take one more call before we finish, but let's just talk about what to do as we move towards the full moon. And what are we going to do to make the most of the full moon? Because we only get one a month, and it's a monthly chance to let it all go and surrender to the divine. And what does that mean, to surrender to the divine? It basically means to hand over any issues that you can't cope with to the divine. And we can't do it too often. Okay? Actually, when I first started to go to the ashram that I've been going to on and off in India, when I first started going there about 15 years ago, I had this little box of, it's like a little machine with a volume on it, and you plug it in, and it's just this chant that goes on and on and on for hours, like it doesn't stop basically until you turn it off, which is Om Namo Narayani, and it's very atmospheric, and I must dig it out and plug it in again. We've moved house probably 3 times since then. I must find it where it is. It's probably in storage somewhere, and plug it in. And it's just this, and I just used to have it running in the background. And it was just sort of my statement that I was surrendering to the divine. And every morning when I wake up, I sit on the edge of my bed and I put my arms up in the air and I say, divine, beloved, beloved divine. And then I'll either say something like, show me what you want from me today, show me how I can serve, or thank you for all the good in my life. So declaring your intentions to the divine, to work with the divine, to be of service to the human race in as much as you can. We all can be of service one way or another. We all have something to offer. You know, you might think, well, I've got nothing to offer. Well, you can walk someone's dog. You can babysit. You can maybe bake cakes for people and make them feel better. You might be able to do remote Reiki, or, you know, all sorts. You know, you might be able to play music to people and make them feel better. We've all got something that we can do to help other people. And if you surrender constantly to the divine, life starts to get better. Life starts to make sense, and you'll start to get to where you want to go. Okay, so in the lead up to the full moon, which is now coming this week, the full moon's coming this week, you know, it's time to surrender. And it's also time to surrender any new moon wishes you made which haven't yet manifested. Once a month, you want to hand them over to the divine. And that's what we do on the full moon, and that's what I'll be doing on at my full moon ceremony this week on Facebook. If you can join me, I'd love you to. Okay, let me take another call. Let's go to, where shall we go? Let's go to, well, I'm actually going to go to the person who I intuitively felt drawn to, even though she's also in California. No offense to anyone else. Jody on line 4, I don't know, it disappeared. There we are, Jody. Where are you, Jody?
Hello, Yasmin. Thank you for taking my call.
Oh, my pleasure. How are you? What's news?
Oh my gosh, I have been following you, I would say, religiously for the last 2 years with using the diary, doing the Moonology certification, doing your Hay House workshops. You have really given me focus on manifesting and surrendering and releasing, and it's really been good for me, and I'm very, very grateful for what you put out and share.
Thank you. Tell the people listening, so it's not just me. It works, doesn't it?
Oh, it's a cosmic timer. You're not kidding. And you can plan your days. You can read your diary. you can kind of know what to expect with the energies and the people you deal with and how to show up. It's phenomenal.
It is amazing. And you know, moon manifesting literally just connects us with our powers to create. And it's not like you say, you know, oh, I want a convertible Mercedes, and bang, there's a convertible Mercedes outside your house. But you get to where you want to go, one step at a time, one new moon at a time.
That is true. And I meet up with my girlfriends, and we do our ceremonies, and we visualize, we journal, we chant, we meditate, we light candles, and we're all living with more purpose.
I love that. All right, so Jody, what would you like to know today?
Oh boy. Well, I recently retired from a very good career to help take care of my mother, who's 89. She's independent, still lives at home. But it's been a big change for me. And I'm just kind of wondering, what do you see in my chart? What do you see happening for me in 2021?
Okay. What were you doing?
I work in the financial planning office.
The financial plans office?
Financial planning, investments, insurance, mutual funds, that kind of a thing. So
Right.
It's very financial.
So quite high powered, and now all of a sudden you're at home with your mum.
Yes. and I'm grateful, I'm grateful my husband's able to allow this to happen for us.
It's very good karma.
You know?
It's very good karma what you're doing. So, is she unwell?
She's 89. She's never going to be more well. She's got health issues, like high blood pressure, those sorts of things. But she's mentally 100% on. She is a widow. So she's alone, and with COVID, she's locked up. I'm not letting her go to the grocery store, or there's nowhere to go. So I'm it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. So, look, I'll tell you, Jody, what I'm seeing. I'm seeing you looking after your mum, possibly all year. And that's okay. That's okay, because in a way what you're doing is you're paying back a karmic debt to her, be it from this life or a previous life, but you have... there's karma involved here, and it was actually the first thing that came to me was that what you're doing is really good karma as well. So, I would say if you can devote yourself to your mother and your home life. Do you have children?
I do. I have a daughter. She is 23, and she's getting married this August.
Oh, beautiful. If you can devote your year to your mother and your home life, which would include your husband and your kids and the actual home where you live, you will be making the most of some pretty challenging astrology, but you will make the most of it.
Okay. Wonderful.
Yeah?
Do you see it challenging in any particular area?
Well, the thing is, you've got Saturn moving into your first house for the first time in 30 years, at a time when you've given up your job to look after your mum. So I think it will be quite challenging with your mum. You're going to have to be of service, and it may not always be, thankful. It may be times when it's tiring and it's emotionally draining for you. But it doesn't have to be a bad thing. But, what you've done is already quite, it's a big thing that you've done. And it's great that you're grateful to your husband. But it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Like my mum looked after my father, actually, when he was sick. Unfortunately, he passed away. But, she looked after him for a long time. And he was absolutely lovely. Like, he never complained once. But it was still tough. Looking after someone when they're getting old and it's all difficult. It's not easy,
Yes. It is not. And, the dynamics of the relationship, the mother-daughter thing, where now, I'm more in charge, but she's still my mother. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, 100%, yeah.
Lots of energy.
Yeah. I don't suppose you'd like to be the third person who's called in today who wants to do a business online by any chance, do you? Because you've got great stars for working online as well. Everybody who's called in today does.
Really? No, I have not thought of that, because honestly don't know what that would entail.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you could do financial consultations or something. Run it on the side. Give yourself a little side hustle.
Okay.
You really have really good stars. You've got good stars for working online. Would you like a card? I've drawn you a card. Would you like a card? Yes to the card?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, please.
Okay, so you have the card that is the fixed moon from my Moonology cards, and it says hold your vision. So whatever vision you have for yourself, Jody, this year and beyond, hold that vision, you know? Like, you just need to sort of stay strong this year, I think, is the biggest thing, you know?
Okay.
Staying power, faith, and patience are needed.
Blessing to be able to speak with you. I appreciate all that you do for us.
Oh my God, you are so welcome. Thank you for being there, and thank you for looking after your mum, because on one level you're looking after everybody when you look after your mum.
Thank you, Yasmin.
Okay. All right, well that's about it we have for this week. Oh, someone's saying get her a kitty. Get your mum a kitty. If you're still listening, Jody, get your mother a kitty. That's a nice idea. Cats are so good. There's a lady across the road who's got a cat to give away, actually. We were thinking about taking the cat in. That would be quite nice. All right, so I'm going to draw a card for all the people who are still on the line who didn't get to speak on air. So this is for Lynn in Pittsburgh, or Patty, Vanessa, Lisa, and Melissa. A card for all of you. Oh, we got a nice straightforward card. Whatever you need, Lynn, Jody. Oh, Jody I just spoke to. So Lynn, Patty, Vanessa, Lisa, and Melissa. Your card is the meditate and contemplate card. So there you go, meditate and contemplate. So that's about it. I will be back here this time next week. And just remember, we are moving towards the full moon, okay? We're moving towards the full moon. It's a time to, you know, really process all your emotions. Emotions are going to be coming up this week. We've got to deal with them. Now is a really good time to be dealing with our emotions as they come up. What are we feeling? What are we releasing? And what are we surrendering to the divine? Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week.
All right, that was great.
Thank you, Louis. Have a good week.
All right, I'll talk to you next time.
See you later. Oh, I think I might have disconnected very unceremoniously. There we go. Done. All right. So there we go, guys. Have a beautiful day, night, morning, wherever you are. And I will see some of you for chanting tomorrow. If you want to join us for chanting, we had 50 people today. It's the most we've had in a while. You can find the chanting. It's free on my Yasmin Boland page on the events. Otherwise, I'll see you on the Facebook Live at 11 a.m, assuming I don't do what I did today, which was get completely caught up. Is there anyone on there right now who is Australian? If you're Australian, can you just say me in the comments? I have a question. Anyone out there? Thank you, Caroline. Anyone out there who's Australian? You are welcome, Marlene. There's always a delay. You're welcome, Charlotte. Anyone out there who is Australian? You're welcome, MJ. See you in the morning, Carrie. Yeah, no, it's about 4 a.m. Australian time, I think, so they're probably all asleep. Any Australians? You're welcome, Emily. No Australians. They're all asleep in bed, as they should be. I think it's about 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. I was going to ask if it's a long weekend. Monica, I'll see you at chanting. Oh, you're chanting, are you, Monica? I haven't seen you there. I must say hello. Joe Bokamazzo. What a great name. And Tracy, tell me, is it a long weekend in Australia? Is it a long weekend? While we wait, we're going to talk to Caroline. When are you back at work? Are you back at work tomorrow, Tuesday. When are you back at work? Cecilia, going to find the chanting. It's just under events. It says weekday chanting. Someone was saying they're going to release Fear. Oh, Tracy. So, Tracy, you back at work on Tuesday or are you back at work on Wednesday? Oh, April, I'd love something. I will show it. I would love to get something. Tracy, you're Australian. When are you back at work? It's a public holiday tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow is Tuesday. Oh, so you're at work today. Right. Okay, so you're back at work on Monday. Now I'm just trying to work out because I need to send someone an email. All right. April, I would love to talk to you about some jewelry. It's absolutely beautiful. Just email me, Yasmin@yasminboland.com. Serena, when are you doing the full moon ceremony? I'm not sure exactly. It's on my Facebook events page here. Let me have a look for you. Facebook events. Yasmin Boland. Events. Full moon online gathering. Let's see. I seem to be doing it at 8 p.m, but I might actually change that time. I'll make a decision in the next 3 hours. I might do it a little bit earlier because, as we saw, it's actually taking place. The full moon is actually taking place at 7:15. Maybe I should do it at 7. I might do it at 7 instead. Do you think that's okay if I change it? Do you think people will mind too much? I'm not sure. What do you think? All right. Lots. Oh, if I do, you'll be able to do both. And what else are you doing, Joelle? Doing another full moon ceremony, maybe. I might do it an hour earlier. Check in 3 hours or so. Have a beautiful day, guys. Lots of love.